Topic number 2. Seth MacFarlane has another TV. Man, this guy's just shooting on all cylinders. Movie. I mean, I think everybody wants a piece of Seth MacFarlane's gold, whether it's movies, more cartoon series. The only one I think that hasn't worked out so far is the Cleveland Show. But now we've got this new. He clearly. I mean, you can tell. Even
that was actually pretty good. How many seasons were there of the Cleveland Show?
I think there was diminishing returns after just repeating the Family Guy father. What is it called? Well, yeah, Family Guy and American Dad methodology over and over and over. I mean, they're a little different, but they're kind of the same cartoon. I still like them. They're still funny, but I think that Cleveland was the least funny out of the 3.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
You thought it was better than American Dad?
American Dad is probably my least favorite of the 3.
Yeah, well,
but it had Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Well, you can tell Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek nerd. Like he puts them in the shows so much. So I'm sure he's been dying to do a kind of almost Galaxy Quest riff on Star Trek, but add some comedic
elements.
What
I was going to say is this is a Galaxy Quest TV series.
I remember watching this thinking, man, I wonder what kind of tone, and it was a tone that I wasn't expecting, where they're going kind of serious, not serious, but the characters can take themselves seriously, but at the same time also funny and comedic. Not so much the comedy that we were talking about in a show a few weeks ago where everything is just ridiculous all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This kind of like older school.
You might have been talking about Powerless?
Maybe, but I think weren't we talking like Ghostbusters? You know what I mean? Where like everybody's wacky.
The new Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Powerless is another great example. Everything's just ridiculous. But this seems more grounded than that. What'd you think of the trailer? Because I'm pumped for this. I can't wait.
The trailer was awesome. If they can harness any of that momentum from the trailer and translate that to episodes, it's going to be a great show. Oh. Because there's so many things you can poke fun at.
I know.
The biggest problem this is going to run into, if the runtime is more than a half an hour, let's say you get an hour show, cut it off at 13 episodes. Do not do more than 13. I don't want to see 22, 23 episodes a season.
I'd be surprised if this was an hour-long show.
Yeah, just because it's going to get to that point where you're going to start covering things and you're going to have to get into these emotional, feely things. And I just, like, from the trailer, I want to see that dynamic of the ex-wife and him and then kind of this one-upsmanship aspect. I mean, the trailer was awesome.
This is like the exact same thing of when they spoofed the Star Wars cartoons and did those on Family Guy, and they literally take scenes from the show and think, hold your fire? What are we charging by the laser now? You don't do the budget, Terry. I do. Imagine doing that with every scene or episode of Star Trek and having it fun up there in live action. I'm so pumped for this. And yeah, the ex-wife, Adrienne Palicki, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I love her. Did you ever see her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I did, but I remember her from John Wick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She was in John Wick. She was in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
And then wasn't she in Varsity Blues, the TV show?
That or Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, one of the two.
One of those.
I think
one
it
of
was
those
Friday Night
football.
Lights.
Yeah, I think it's Friday Night Lights. Yeah.
Yeah. I love her, but I love that one there. What was this? The thing?
It's good to see she has a comedic side.
Yeah. What was the thing they were doing with the banana or whatever? Does it work with all fruit? Work with
I have a feeling that they're just giving us the gold, though. I hope every episode's as good as that, but that was awesome.
So far, though, every time we've worried about that for every trailer he's done, whether it was Ted or A Million Ways to Die in the West, it hasn't been. They've been really good, so I just don't see any reason to think that this wouldn't be the same thing.
My thing about Seth MacFarlane, he's kind of polarizing, though. You either really like the guy,
right,
or you hate him.
Yeah, he's kind of like and completely different in comedic structure, but Adam Sandler is very polarizing too. People either love his movies or they're like, this is just stupid. And you're right, Seth MacFarlane.
Jim Carrey's the same way, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully he can kind of cross over.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if he doesn't, if he just keeps doing what's brought in the audiences that like Seth MacFarlane produced media, whether it's been Family Guy or American Dad or Ted or A Million Ways to Die in the West, those are very successful. He doesn't need to have everyone like him. Even if he just gets the core base that already loves him, that would be enough for the show.
Yes and no. Fox is so easy to take a good show.
Yeah, that's true.
And just end it.
They're really finicky and about not giving a show time
especially
to...
sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a huge Serenity fan.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself
Firefly
a brown
canceled
coat,
after
but
one
I love it.
season,
Yeah.
That show was...
Yeah.
Oh.
That show was the shit.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so good at that. And there was another show they did that was a cop show. I think it was called Southland or something like that. And I loved that show. And they ended it after one season.
Yeah.
It had Abraham from The Walking Dead in it.
Do you think that's just Fox, or do you think all networks are just more trigger happy to pull the plug quicker just because everything is so, you need a quicker turnaround time to be able to compete with stuff. Everything just happens faster. I mean, let's be honest. A show like Seinfeld, I don't think it would have been able to exist anywhere because that show didn't pick up until after the second season. And it only got 4 episodes as far as a green light in the beginning. Like, it was a really weird story, but that was given time to percolate. Same thing with The Office. That didn't pick up until later.
Yeah, that's true. And then what happened this last week with Timeless?
Mm-hmm.
That was a show that got a first season.
Got some good
and
critical
NBC
reviews,
said
but
it
didn't have the ratings
wasn't going to come back, and then 3 days later it said it is going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they want immediate returns on certain shows, and I think that may be kind of the downfall of it. And I think that's what I want to say. That's what happened with Powerless, but I think Powerless just lost its way.
I don't think Powerless just knew what it wanted to be. You could tell that was written by a committee in there that was arguing.
Exactly. Yeah, you had too many executive producers making decisions as to how the show should be.
Make it kid friendly. No, put in penis jokes. Just what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, either you or Dan said last week, and I think it was last week's show, being in that writing room was probably one of the most uncomfortable things you could ever been in, I imagine. I mean, it's like, I got a really good idea, and then everybody's like, oh, fuck. You're like, okay, I'm not even going to say it.
Makes me think of that.
I'm going to try to save my cred so I can go to some other job.
That Key and Peele episode where they're making a spoof about what it must have been like to be in the writer's room for the Gremlins 2 movie, where they're throwing all these ridiculous ideas. You're like, yes, throw it in. That'll work, because that movie was just so all over the place. I think that this show looks freaking awesome, and you can tell that it's definitely going to be it seems like we've gotten to a point technologically wise where they can do special effects that don't have to be feature film sci-fi good, and this isn't going to have the budget of like a Game of Thrones show, but with some of the stuff they're shooting for, they can do with relatively a TV's moderate budget on Fox and still get pretty good special effects, I guess I should say, on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it this way too. I mean, another show that was dropped by one network and picked up by another one was Enterprise. For all those Star Trek fans. And that one had those kind of budget graphics to some extent.
Yeah, but wasn't it the same kind of budget that all the Star Trek shows had?
Budget-wise, I don't know. I'm sure ananybody that watches this and knows Star Trek's more than happy to answer that.
Yeah, that's true. We probably have some fans. Of course, we don't have any tagline on the show for Star Trek on this episode, so maybe I'll have to throw that in there just to get people to watch and fill in the blanks on that.
Yeah. Seth MacFarlane, the new Star Trek.
Was it Enterprise that they put out just on UPN, which was probably it was the only show that didn't get syndicated right from the get-go, or was that Voyager? I can't remember. Maybe it was Voyager. One of them they just put on UPN instead of syndicating it on many different networks, and of course that made a huge negative impact. But I'm like, duh. But
yeah, no, the graphics are good enough, and you're right. I mean, you can almost buy stuff at home that you can put something together. It makes a decent looking spaceship, and you put it out there and stuff. I mean, as long as you don't have a whole bunch of combat scenes and stuff like that, you're fine. Yeah, I guess that's the other thing is, like, in looking at it too, I wondered what the budget was like, because there's a lot of characters, and some of them seem kind of repeats from other movies.
Oh, definitely. I think that's intentional. They're trying to play like the Worf. You know, they got the Worf character.
Yeah, but like the whole like makeup budget and you know, like all the aliens and stuff like that are going to include. But I also harken back to go back if anybody's wondering. Go back and watch the first season of Next Gen.
Yeah, compared to the rest.
Those graphics do not hold up. I mean, it's like, Jesus. Because I went back and I watched Next Gen again because it was one of those things when I was growing up I loved.
And they're remastered in high def, even on Netflix now, so you can see all the detail of how bad some of the shit was, especially in the first season.
And granted, what was that? That was
Encounter at Farpoint.
25
Remember
years
that?
ago. It was awful.
Yeah. Some of that stuff was revolutionary at the time. Computer graphics on
it was
Next Gen.
When I saw it, I totally believed it.
Yep.
But now, no.
Yep. When does this come out? Do we know?
I don't know.
I didn't really pay
I wish I
attention.
did. This is what I need to get the DVR going for.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm so pumped for this. Seth MacFarlane, when he stepped through that gel creature and it was Norm Macdonald's voice, hey, it's okay, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I can't wait for this. This looks awesome. Well, for those of you watching, let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you pumped for another Seth MacFarlane TV show? Let us know.